Hey YouTube, my name is Keisha and welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing the Booktube Newbie Tag just to kind of introduce myself to you guys in this community. So before I get started, I do just want to say I'm super thankful for all of you out there that are watching right now, and I can't wait to get connected with you guys and make more bookish friends. My name is Keisha and I am 26 years old. I live in Tennessee. My husband's name is Will. We've been married since 2013, so we're running on right at 7 years. That took me way too long to figure out. Sorry, babe. We don't have any children yet, but we do have a puppy child. It's a miniature dachshund, and her name is Jovi. That's my family, and I will try to put a picture of them here or here, wherever it is on the screen. I will insert a picture so you can see my family. But that's a little bit about my family. And then myself, I'm actually a circulation desk assistant at a library, and actually that's how I got back into reading again. Is I was looking for a new job, and I've always loved the thought of working in a library, and so I decided once I started working there, I really want to get back into reading, not only for myself, but so I could help the patrons that we have be able to recommend books to them and stuff like that. So I started getting back into reading again just a little over a year ago. And so now here I am. And so I'm gonna go ahead and start with the Booktube Newbie Tag questions. So the first question is, why did you start this channel? Obviously, I started the channel to talk about books and because I wanted to make new bookish friends. I feel like that's most people's answer. It's kind of generic, but that's why I'm here. I love to talk about books, and my husband does like to read, but he just finished his master's, and so he's not really into wanting to read anything right now. And I don't really have a lot of friends who read a ton. So I was like, what better way to talk about books than to go online in this awesome community. I've been following people on Booktube for about a year now, and I'm on Bookstagram and on Book Twitter, so I will leave my links in the description box. You can also find them on my page. But I really just wanted to immerse myself into this community even more and hopefully find some bookish friends that I could talk to about all the books that I love. So that's why I'm here. Question number 2 is, what are some fun or unique things that you can bring to Booktube? This question is super intimidating for me because it makes me feel like I have to be completely different or not do some of the same videos as everybody else. I do think, while it's a generic answer also, that being myself is the best thing I can do coming into this community. Coming in and, there are a couple videos that other people do that I would like to do, and maybe I could think of some new ideas or some new tags to include. But I think the best thing that we can do in this community is to just try to not feel the pressure to be like somebody else or do your channel like somebody else. One of the biggest things that has been something that has put so much pressure on me is to feel like I have to have a certain theme or have a certain aesthetic on my Bookstagram and on this channel. And I don't really know what that is or if it ever will be a specific thing. I'm sure that I'll eventually kind of have my own aesthetic or theme, or I will be probably recognized for something specific with my book taste. But as of right now, I really don't know what that is. And so I've tried to relieve that pressure for myself and just say, I'm gonna go into this wholeheartedly because this is something that I love. And this is something that I think will be really beneficial to my life and bring joy to my life. And so I'm hoping that just being myself is uniqueness enough for all of you guys. Question number 3 is, what are you most excited about for this new channel? So I think obviously I'm most excited to be able to talk about books because I'll actually be able to engage in conversation with people through the comments here and hopefully make some friendships online as well, where I have a community of people to talk to about books that I love, get recommended books and recommend other people books, and just talk about all things bookish on this channel. Like I said before, I don't have a lot of friends in real life that like to talk about books or read a lot of books, so I think this will be a great opportunity for me to connect with more people that love to read. Question number 4 is, what do you love reading? So I can read pretty much anything, but I tend to lean more towards fantasy, contemporary romance, and middle grade. That's really what I've been feeling a lot lately. I have also read historical fiction and sci-fi, but I don't read as much of those as I do other things. I'm actually hoping in 2020 to read more sci-fi. I'm really wanting to get into that more. I just got finished reading a whole bunch of contemporary romances. I didn't even think I would like those because a lot of times I don't want to watch movies or read books that are really sappy and gonna make me cry or anything. Nonetheless, I've really been into contemporary romance lately. Now I think I'm about to transition back into fantasy. But like I said, I'm not super picky with what I read. It depends on writing style more than anything else. But the books that I tend to read the most often are fantasy, contemporary romance, and middle grade. Question number 5 is, what book or series got you into reading? So ever since I was a child, I've loved to read. My parents exposed me to books. Since I was in my mother's womb, my mom was reading to me. So I've always had a love for reading. When I was little, a few of the books that I can remember reading are Dr. Seuss. I had a bunch of Disney books that I read. As I got older, I had a few chapter books that I have here with me. Just a few to show you. I was really into A Series of Unfortunate Events, The Mouse and the Motorcycle, Belle. So as I got older, I had to do a lot more reading for school, and it was required of me. And when books are required for you to read, I feel like that kind of takes some of the fun out of them. I did enjoy a few books that I read in high school, like Lord of the Flies and To Kill a Mockingbird, but other than that, I really wasn't into reading for a while. When I got into college, I also had the same issue of having required reading, so I didn't want to read much on my own. But I did read some books on my own. Because I was a Christian studies major and my husband and I were in ministry together, I was reading a whole lot of Christian living. So for years, I didn't even read fiction anymore. I just read Christian living books. And so I have 3 of my favorite Christian living books here that I will show you. These are books that I really feel like transformed my life. They're amazing, and so I wanted to recommend them to you today. Probably my absolute favorite one is called Fashion to Reign: Empowering Women to Fulfill Their Divine Destiny by Chris Valentin. This book really changed my life and how I view myself as a woman in ministry, and I highly, highly recommend it, or really any book by Chris Valentin. The next book that I have is called Stronger Than the Struggle: Uncomplicating Your Spiritual Battle by Havilah Cunnington. Havilah Cunnington is one of my favorite women speakers and authors. I think this is just one of the best books that I've ever read, and I highly recommend it as well. And the last book that I want to mention here is You Are Free, Be Who You Already Are by Rebecca Lyons. This is also a really great book. I don't want to talk too much about all these because I may do a video in the future about some of my favorite Christian living books. But nonetheless, these are some fantastic books. Lastly, before I draw out this question any longer, what got me into reading as an adult was really the Harry Potter series. When I started wanting to read more because I was working at a library, I knew that I needed to read Harry Potter because here I am, one of the few that have seen all the movies and I know about Harry Potter, but I have never read the books. I got about halfway into The Goblet of Fire and I just got tired of reading, not because the writing wasn't good, not because I didn't love the story, but I think for 2 reasons. My first reason I think is because I already knew the story, and because I've been so exposed to Harry Potter, it was really hard for me to want to continue reading, because even though there's some differences between the books and the movies, I knew roundabout what was going on. And so I kind of just wanted something different. And that brings me to my second reason why I stopped reading. And that was because I have a really hard time reading series, like more than a trilogy, because I just want something new. I want to read something, a new story, go into a new world. And so at that point in time, I had already read 3 or 4 books in the series, or I was getting at that point. And so I was like, okay, I need to put them down for a little while, have a change of scenery. So I picked up some more books, and unfortunately I have not picked them back up yet. I will pick them back up again soon. And I actually just got the Harry Potter Illustrated Edition Book 1 for Christmas, and I'm hoping that having those editions will make me want to read the books more, because there's pictures, and who doesn't want to read a book with pictures? To me that makes it so much more interesting to read. So anyways, the Harry Potter books did get me back into reading, as well as the Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Pie Society by Mary Ann Schaefer. That was one book that I read. It's a World War II historical fiction, and it's actually an epistolary, which means it's written in letters. It's the first book I'd ever read that I remember that was written in letters, and I really enjoyed it. It's made me want to pick up more books like that. So that was another. And then the last one that got me into reading again, I will credit Neil Gaiman with The Ocean at the End of the Lane. This is a pretty short book, and I actually had no idea anything about Neil Gaiman or this book at all. The only thing I knew about Neil Gaiman was that he wrote Coraline, and Coraline is one of my all-time favorite movies. It is perfection, just saying. If you haven't seen it, you need to watch it. But Neil Gaiman, I knew he wrote that book. I actually read Coraline. It was the first book that I read at the beginning of this year. So I really wanted to pick up more of his books, because I know he's got a lot of weird writing, and I like kind of weird and creepy and whimsical in some senses. So I picked this up, and this novel was really, really great. I highly recommend it. It's one of my all-time favorite books that I've ever read. This concludes all of the books that got me back into reading. Question number 6 is, what questions would you ask your favorite booktuber? Obviously I would be like, do you want to be friends? I mean, who wouldn't want to be friends with their favorite booktubers? But yeah, other than that, I would probably just ask for any advice and tips for starting my booktube channel and for connecting with people. One of the things that has made me the most nervous is just being able to connect with people, because I really want to make friendships here, but I'm not sure exactly how all of that works, and it's really intimidating to think about, but I'm really hoping to make some great friends here. And question number 7, which is the last question of Booktube Newbie Tag, is what challenges do you think starting a booktube channel will be the hardest to overcome? And I think for me, it's going to be just like getting past the nerves and being able to be myself, which I think actually I'm doing a pretty decent job of right now because I'm being very casual with this. But other than that, I think editing is something that's super intimidating to me. I don't even know where to start. I've been recommended some different things on my phone. I'm actually recording on my phone right now, which has been something that has worried me because I'm like, is this quality going to be good enough? Are people going to want to watch this? Does quality matter? But all I have right now is an iPhone 11, and so that's what I'm using. And then, like I said, I'm concerned with my editing abilities and what to use for editing. I've been recommended stuff on my computer and on my phone, so we'll just see where it ends up. But I'm sure that over time, I will get better. And then lastly, the thing that I think is going to intimidate me or be really hard for me to overcome is just self-confidence and like wanting to make friends. Like I said, I really want to connect with people on here. And so I have to just be myself and not feel like I have to be somebody that I'm not. And so I think, like I said, I think I'm starting out pretty strong with that, and hopefully I maintain that and just be myself, be unique, and know that that's going to be the best thing, that people will accept me for who I am. So that's it for the Booktube Newbie Tag. I hope that you guys have enjoyed watching this video and getting to know me a little bit more. I would love for you to comment down below and introduce yourself, or if you're a booktuber, to give me some advice or tips on all things booktube, all things bookstagram, anything on the online bookish community. Please, please, please introduce yourself below. I'd love to get to know you. Just tell me a couple things about you, what your favorite things about this community are. If you like this video and if you're interested in any other videos that I will be posting on my channel in the future, you can click the subscribe button and click the bell icon for notifications for whenever I post. I will also leave my information for Bookstagram and Book Twitter down below, so you can find me there. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!